Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. Happy Wednesday. So if you are anything like me, you have those moments of both overthinking and hesitation. What does that mean? How many times have you had a scheduled reminder on your calendar of something that you wanted to do, to get done? You put it in as an appointment, the day comes, I have an iPhone, so I put it in my iPhone and I set timers and reminders, and it pops up and I'm like, I'm not in the mood to do that right now. And I go in and I change the date to the next day at the same time, leave the reminder on, and it reminds me again the next day. And inevitably, the next day I'm still not in the mood to do it, and so on and so on. So I think everyone, Vanna, hold on one second, I need water. I got it. My morning raspiness. So I don't know many people who never ever do this. Most people do it about something, whether it be exercising, put it off, or a project that has a looming deadline, but it has a long stretch of time still left. That's where I'm guilty. If I know I have something due on January 23rd, I really start hunkering down on like the 19th or 20th. It's a bad habit. I hate it. And because I make my own deadlines, it's even worse. It's like I'm mad at the boss and I'm the boss that I'm mad at. But I wanted to ask for your help today. I jump on every Wednesday. I usually talk about a hair color technique or something new, or, a new product, a new tool, a new something to do with hair. And this is about hair, but I want to go back to teaching Premier Orlando. I had to skip it this year because it happened to be the same exact dates as my own hair show Revival, that most of you attended Revival. Some of you could not attend Revival because you already were committed to Premier Orlando, but it is one of my favorite shows, and most of the members in my Hair Color Secrets Insider group, I met them 7 years ago when I taught my first class at Premier. So it's a special show. It's near and dear to my heart because of that. They gave me my first opportunity to get up on stage. It was a dream fulfilled. It was a great experience. And I've only missed, I think since that first show, I've only missed one or two since then. I've tried to go back every single year and meet more great people and really enjoyed the show. So I missed it in October. It's back to June. I have it in my calendar, hoping that I am chosen, because it's not a guarantee. You put in an application and you have to fill out all these forms, and I always dread filling out forms. It's not my favorite thing to do. It's kind of a glitchy system. Sometimes I'll get, 85% done and I'll hit a button and everything will go away. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to start over again. So needless to say, I have been procrastinating on the forms. So why I am procrastinating isn't just that I have to fill out forms, it's the topic. So I am a perfectionist and I have a whole lot of passion and a whole lot of information in this cranium of mine that I want to share with others. And I'm torn right now between what I know people have enjoyed in the past, that is like standing room only in the classroom. There's people on the floor, there's people up and down the aisles, packed classroom, is things that I've already done. It's my Let's Kick Brass class. It's my, simplifying formulation. Those things are usually a hit because it's new people every single year, which is great. But I also have people that come to the show because they know I'm going to be there and they are looking for something different. So I just wanted to check in with all of you. You're wonderful coming here to this coffee chat every week. I appreciate your opinion. And I just wanted to see in the chat, what would actually make you get on an airplane and go to Premier if you weren't planning on going? As someone who follows my education, that would be, oh my gosh, I can't miss that class. That's what I'm looking for this year. Something that's finally somebody's doing a class on blank. For me, when I'm on, sites here on Facebook and I see people's questions, there seems to be a lot of confusion around glazing and toning. And I am doing a class on January 23rd virtually called Let's Go Glazey Crazy. I included the link on this broadcast. So when you're finished listening to this, you can go back and click on the link and join me for that. So that's something I'm already filling the void on with glazes, toners, and all things, root shadows, melts, all that stuff, how to formulate for those. So it's not too ashy, not too warm, not too covered of the highlights. You don't want it to be too opaque and cover up the highlights you just did. So how to keep it sheer, shiny, bright, and not overtoned. So I already am doing that virtually. So I don't want to do that at the premiere show. So just give me your feedback, please. I'm open to any suggestions. And it really doesn't have to necessarily be, yes, my passion and expertise is in hair color, but it's also the business of hair color, how to become a more up-leveled, higher ticket price couture colorist. That's also something I can talk about, how to get new clients in your chair, how to upsell services. It can be a businessy color class as well. But, every once in a while I get in a creative funk and I'm here at the creative funk crossroads. I even went a step further and called my contact at Orlando and said, Nicole, tell me if there's something people are asking for, because they usually send out, all kinds of feelers and emails and ask for feedback. Did you basically get any feedback from October of something that people thought was missing or something that people really loved and maybe that class isn't coming back? Whatever. I just am looking for feedback from my peers, from people who are in the industry. So if there is something that pops in your head, don't hold back. Don't think that it's silly or, too basic. It's funny. I'll share a story with you. So I tend to be, everything has to be big and grand and, oh my gosh, this is, life-changing and amazing. Everything has to be high level, oh my gosh, kind of things. And sometimes the most basic thing that I offer is the most successful offer I've ever done. People just want information that they need. You have to meet people where they are. So it's difficult. When I get on here and I speak, I can have someone who is still in beauty school. I can have someone who's ready to graduate beauty school, and I can have someone who's been doing hair 45 years. When I look at the analytics of my YouTube, my podcast, and Facebook, the age range usually falls between 39 to 59, something like that. So they're clearly not brand new hairdressers. So I try to keep my classes a little bit more advanced, but not so advanced that someone who's new would not come into the room and feel overwhelmed. On the vein of overthinking and hesitating, I am hosting a brand new program starting in February, and it's called the Hairstylists Ultimate Mentorship. I've gathered amazing mentors from the industry who have, our collective experience is over 100 years in the industry. It's insane. I have Philip and Mary Wilson, Vivian McKinder, Gary Cole, myself, Donna Roggio is doing Fierce Financial. I mean, each person that is joining into this mentorship has a wealth of information and experience in the industry, and they all have their own special thing that they do. So I have a link included in this broadcast, and I pop it everywhere that I am on Facebook where they allow links. I've popped this link saying, join us for the ultimate mentorship, the ultimate hairstylist mentorship. I can't even imagine having any hesitation around clicking that link, because next to the link, it says the Hairstylist Ultimate Mentorship. Click here to join free in all capitals. So 0 barrier to entry. The only barrier to entry I would say is if you don't have the means to get on a link. If you don't have a phone, a computer, or a laptop, or an iPad, and you just can't click the link. Even then, ask a friend to click it for you and fill out your information and have everything sent to your email. So there is a way to do it. So I looked at the analytics this morning and I saw that 505 people have read the page where it says, amazing experienced mentors coming together through passion and purpose to elevate the industry, to help us all level up, raise our prices, be the people we always wanted to be, make a greater living. That hand holding of mentorship that is missing in the industry. Sign up free by clicking here. 505 people clicked, 239 signed up. Now, I'm confused. What could possibly be an overthinking situation here? I'm trying to have empathy for the overthinker because I'm overthinking about Premiere right now, but I don't have empathy when something is completely free. There is zero catch. And in making this, creating this group, I vacillated back and forth between paid and free. I'm like, there's something to be said about having a little bit of skin in the game and having that accountability. And I've talked to high-level business coaches, and every single one said, I don't agree with you making it free. Why are you making it free? I said, because I think that the younger stylist is not seeking the education that they need because they're making $6, $7, $8 an hour, and they can't even put gas in their gas tank. And they're like, okay, well, start out with the free and just see how it goes. And I think what you may find is that the people that show up free will happily sign up, but they probably won't show up. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, you know what? This will be an exercise in finding out just how much people will go all in when something is free. So my intention is for it to be free. It's a beta experimental thing in the very beginning because I am so thrilled that these high-level mentors are willing to volunteer their time, number one. I'm happily volunteering my time as well, but there are back-end expenses like internet, platform, virtual assistant to send out all the emails and the reminders and set up the Facebook page. All of those things take money. So I'm going to do it as long as I can and make it free. So why not jump in when it is completely free? And I honestly don't foresee, if it does become a paid program, I don't foresee it being anything not affordable because the whole purpose is to offer something to someone who is hesitating to pay for advanced education and it's keeping them stuck. They need to be held and supported and shown by someone who's been there. We've all been there. Not one of us escaped the beginning stage. So we've all been there and we can look back with 2020, the saying hindsight is 2020. We can look back and be crystal clear on what we did wrong, what we could have done differently, and how much fear and overthinking and hesitation, how much time that has cost us. Years ago, in my salon, I was venturing into the private label products. I was so tired of, the Amazons and the drugstores, and I would go into TJ Maxx looking for that new find, and I would find, professional brand shampoos, and my blood pressure would go through the roof. My head would spin around on my shoulders. I would get on social media and bitch about it, and it did nothing. All it did was raise my cortisol levels and my blood pressure and make me unhealthy, but nothing was going to change. And I think you'll agree now it's even worse than it was back then. So my kids were little. My daughter was probably 8, and my son was like 5. No, he was probably 7 and she was 12. And I had to name my product, and it was important to me that the product was not named the same name as the salon, because I'm like, hey, if more people want to get on board and have something that doesn't exist, in drugstores or on Amazon or any of that, I can expand the line in other smaller salons that don't have the money to invest in a private label line might jump in if it's something cool. So at the time, I was very interested in feng shui. I was very interested in the whole Asian influence, bamboo, Asian themed colors. My salon was I did bamboo floors. I did a red door because it was about prosperity and wealth and abundance and all of those things. And because I was so into the Asian thing, I thought, you know what, this is really a cool thing right now. It's very on trend. I'm going to maintain that theme onto this product line. So the theme was very like bamboo with the little green flowers, the shoots coming off the bamboo. And I just needed a cool, catchy name. So I'm asking my daughter, and she's used to how I think. And we're coming up with all these like complicated things. And I said this is the funny part. So I look up what my salon name at the time was Splash. So I looked up I said, what is the Asian word for splash? And it said, what did it say? Oh, it said Bukkake. And I was like, well, that's not a very cool name for shampoo. It doesn't sound that luxurious or not like, here, pass me that Bukkake. So thankfully, Howard Stern at the time did a broadcast with someone, and they were telling what the meaning of the word Bukkake is, and it was not good. It was, Bukkake means to ejaculate in a woman's face. So I would have named my shampoo line Ejaculate in a Woman's Face if I went down that road of overcomplicating it and making it Asian when I had no business making anything in another language I did not speak. So I said to my son, Jack said, what are you guys doing? Because I was laying in bed with my daughter and we were laughing and we are coming up with all these things. And he said, what are you guys doing? And I said, we're trying to think about a name for shampoo. I said, what would you call shampoo? And he goes, I don't know, shampoo? And I was like, okay, like you're a lot of help. And then I said, how about hair gel? Like when you spike your hair up and you want to put gel. And he's like, I don't know, hair gel? Like everything I said, he just said, call it what it is. And I was like, wow, this little boy just totally named my product. It's that simple. You have to be that simple. Stop, Elaine. Stop overcomplicating it. So I named the entire line Simplify. So it was called Simplify, and it was Simply Suds for shampoo, Simply Smooth for conditioner, Simply Stiff for, hard gel for guys, Simply Held or Simple Hold, something like that I don't even remember. But there was a spray, sea salt beach spray, and it was Simply Sexy, Simply Salty or Simply Sexy, whatever. It was so simple. And it was a hit. The clients loved it. The packaging was clean and simple and basic, and they understood what they were getting. How many times did you pick up a product and you're like, I don't even know what this is. There's so many words on here and it's so fancy and I can't even pronounce anything. How many products do you have in your bathroom that you can't pronounce? You're embarrassed to ask for it at the store because you can't pronounce it. So you keep ordering it online because you can spell it out and you don't have to say it. So sometimes simple is best. And that's why I'm asking you all for your feedback, because I tend to overcomplicate and I want it to be this like wonderful, never been done before class. And someone might just want to know how to simply cover gray better than they are right now. So I'm just going to check in on your comments. Katie said, so hard to find good classes to take for cosmetologists. We need a basic color theory class that focuses on, there you go, Katie, very basic. Thank you for that. Julie, will you send out an email with the link? Julie, if you join that waiting list for the mentorship, you will absolutely get all the emails. It's not going to automatically go to everybody, but if you're interested, sign up with that link. Tracy said, too good to be true. Yeah, maybe that is what people are thinking. Maybe it needs to be like $5 a month or something really basic just to make people think it's not a scam. It says for a wait list, so it sounds like something that launches. No, okay. I'm sorry that it sounds like that because that was not the intention. The wait list is we're not ready to send out the next email for everything. So interesting. Okay. Michael said, I find any of what you were talking about, the gloss course and February mentorship. I don't know if you're saying like teach that at the show. Maybe add free to the link sign. Free is on the link sign up. I mean, it's not in the actual words of the link, but it says free. I'll see if I can do that. But thank you for that feedback, Carlene. Michael said, I need to get a semi-blue color out of bleached hair. Go to Ask Mags on Facebook and click on Vivid Removal, and she'll have a bajillion different things. She's probably going to say Malibu Disruptor followed by DDL, probably. Julie said, how often will it be? So Julie, it's going to be very similar to our insider setup, where you're going to have a content library that you can watch on your own time. And then we're going to have live meetups with the mentors once per quarter. So every 3 months it's not a big time commitment at all, but you do have to do work on your own in the library, and there will be accountability for it, because you can't just pop in and out. That's why we want to make sure that it's a journey. I can't find any glazing there. It's on this broadcast, Michael. When you stop watching, you'll see it in the title of this broadcast. You'll see a link. And the glazing you get as part of your insider membership, so don't worry about that. You're going to get access to that. Tracy, you probably did sign up. You might be on there. I haven't looked. You are free, but what the other mentors in your group, if we need something more, would they then charge? Oh, absolutely. If you want more than what is being provided in the mentorship, then you need to connect with that mentor and do training with them. It's not it's not a complete, like they're going to retire and only be in this mentorship. They're providing their time and expertise in this mentorship to get people on the road to having someone support them. But absolutely, like if you need, actual hold your hand, do it this way at this angle, like actual true education, there's going to be, if you love Vivian, you're going to take a class with Vivian. If you love Philip Wilson, you're going to take Philip Wilson's class. So definitely that is something that you would pay for down the road, but the mentorship is of no charge right now. Alfreda is in. Pamela, I already answered that. It's in this broadcast. It's right in the title of this broadcast is the link. Tired of the membership. I've never been sad about any of the things I signed up for, so I'm on it right now. Nat, reach out to me. I'm not sure what that means. Ursula, thank you. I'm trying something different with my color. All they need to do is listen, and then they will. Nobody listens, Lori. How important is this for newbies and seasoned? I think it's important for everyone, because I think a lot of people missed mentorship early on in their career. It's very common. What happens is people finish beauty school and they're really excited. I was that person. I never took a day off. I showed up every single day for beauty school, never missed a day. I was finished in exactly 9 months. I had a goal. I was like, I saw all these people paying for extra hours and staying in there for a year and a half because they kept getting drunk on a Friday night and not signing up for school and not showing up for school on Saturday. And I got tired of that. So I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. So I was done on time, and my good friend from high school's father had a small neighborhood salon, very outdated, very old school Jetson-y looking dryers, washing sets, blue rinses, fancy full rinses. Like, it was not going to be my forever home. But what he did was he offered me a chair and independence before that was a thing. He was like, you have a chair, you bring your own equipment, you do your thing. I'm happy to support you with walk-ins. I just want somebody to help me basically offset the rent. He was by himself. So I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. I don't have to interview. I don't have to test out and do anything in front of him, because how nerve-wracking is that when you have to actually do hair in front of someone that's hiring you, especially when you're right out of school. So he was an amazing role model to me, as like a dad figure, as I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that you're safe. But he wasn't able to teach me the things that I needed to learn, because he was stuck doing what he learned in school in the 60s, basically, the teasing and the roller setting and the perming and all of that. So I didn't have the mentor that I needed. And then I was stuck because I loved him. I still love him. I just talked to him last week. And I've been doing this 35 years. He's still a really dear friend of mine. And I so appreciate the opportunity that he gave me. But I think right now, because of Instagram and Facebook and all of the social media, TikTok, all of those things, people are coming out of school and they're like, I see that girl doing it. She's only been doing hair for 2 years. I'm going right into a suite. I've got this. You don't got this. You don't. I'm sorry. I don't care how. The only way you've got it is if your mom, your aunt, your best friend, someone else was a hairdresser and you've been working in a salon for 3 years sweeping hair and you've been watching them and learning while you were in beauty school, then you probably have got it. But if you did not have a strong mentor saying, you know, when you said that to the client, that was not good communication. She didn't understand what you were saying. You need to really be clear in your communication. How many times has a man said, cut it short around the ears? And we think cut it short around the ears is no hair, like bald fade around the ears. And they meant, I want it to be over the ears. I want my hair to cover the top of my ears. So over the ears, same thing, right? So you have to really understand, and all it takes is to do that once where you cut a guy up above and he's like, no, I meant I want it over my ears. I want it to cover my big ears. So you do it once and then you never do it again, but that client's never coming back to you. So isn't it better to find out when someone who has been where you're going, they've already been there and they've learned all of the things. Now, mentees, proteges don't always listen to their mentors. Sometimes it's like, wah, 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 yeah, I know in my day, I walked to school with holes in my shoes and, you know, rocks on the ground and no lunch bag. I had to carry my sandwich in my hand because I didn't have a plastic bag. You know, all those stories. I get that. Sometimes, you know, my level of experience and my age can be to a new person coming out of school, like, yeah, wah, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not on TikTok. So there's part of that too. So these mentors are really super passionate and want to share with the newbie, and they're all experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing, that the younger kids want to, you know, they want to follow the Larissa Loves and the, you know, the people who wear the cool hats and have the cool piercings and have the cool tattoos. But some of them have only been doing hair 5 years, 6 years. Imagine the level of experience of a Vivian McKinder who's been doing hair over 40 years and has won 7 NAHA awards and is the top of our industry. She's amazing and such a good teacher. So we're trying to connect those people, the proteges that need the guidance and the mentors that need to be fulfilled, that we're making a difference in the industry. Our passion right now is to come in and be a force that has been missing in the industry, that we've all been bitching about and all been talking about, but we haven't stepped up to do anything about it because it feels too overwhelming. So I love the quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We want to go far. We want to make changes in the industry that are long overdue as a collective group, and up-leveling these young minds to believe that this is truly an amazing career. This is not a hobby. This is not, you know, people used to say to me, my friends, when I would want to stay in on Friday night, they would say, all you do is cut hair. You can be hungover. You're just cutting hair. And I'm like, oh, honey, do you have any idea, like, what is involved in a haircut? If you've ever seen Kim Moore from her haircutting method, I'm blanking on the name, but her haircutting method involves geometry and a protractor and different angles, and head shape matters. The shape of the head, my head shape and your head shape, if I hold the hair at the same angle, it's going to be a completely different haircut. If my friends only knew how much more there was involved, they're like, oh, you just sit around and file nails and gossip all day. I'm like, okay. And I can tell you at 54 years old, 35 years into my career, I am one of a very small group of people in my circle who actually loves what I do to this day. I wake up every day so grateful to get to do what I do, and so grateful that I love to learn, that I am like a total nerd and spend an entire Sunday in an online platform learning more about our craft so that I can then pass it on to others. It's an absolute joy. My friends who are accountants or took jobs in insurance companies or they're in the medical field are stressed out of their mind. I just joined a mastermind group with online business owners. It's all women, and the person who got the mastermind together is a surgeon. And she said, I was addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to drugs. I was an absolute mess because it was so unbelievably stressful. I couldn't do it another minute. And now she teaches mindfulness, yoga and all of those things. She's a surgeon, and she's probably still paying back the loans of being a surgeon, but it just was not what she thought it was going to be, and it was too much. So we are important. If COVID taught us nothing else, it is that people need us, they love us, they want to be with us, they miss hugging us, they miss the physical contact that we provide. We're one of the few people that physically touches someone when we're providing a service. And people need to be touched. Some people are so lonely and don't have anyone in their life touching them ever, and they say babies, premature babies, if they're not held, will die because they're missing that touch, that heart to heart touch. So we are so blessed. And I hope that you'll come on this journey with me. I promise it is not a bait and switch. It's not like, oh yeah, get my name and email and then send me 400 million emails. Sometimes you just have to trust, right? You can't hesitate and you can't overthink. You just have to do the trust fall. And I think somebody on the chat here said, Nat said, I've never been sorry when I signed up for any of your classes or the membership. I've got to say you've never steered me wrong, and I won't. I am a genuine, authentic human. I am no bullshit. Sometimes I'm a little too tough love because I am no bullshit. But that's my promise to you. You will not be sorry if you join. And if you join and you find that it's too basic, still join, because you are going to uplift those other people. If you've ever thought about being a teacher or a mentor, or you want to start a training program in your salon, this is where you need to be, because you need to see what's going on this platform to then take your newbies and say, click that link right now, because I don't have the time behind the chair to guide you, coddle you, and help you. These people are here to do that for you, and they're really good at it. So it doesn't matter what level of experience you are. It doesn't matter if you've been doing hair 2 days or, 50 years. It's still going to be an amazing place to be. So thanks for listening, as always, and I will see everyone next week. I hope to see some or all of you in Let's Go Glazey Crazy. It's not sold out. There's still an opportunity to join the toning, glossing, glazing, and all things formulating for those. It's live on January 23rd, and it's got a really hefty Q&A at the end. I never end the class until everybody's questions are answered. So if you're struggling with that one client that you just can't seem to get her glaze right, you're trying to make her silver and she's turning blah green or something to that effect, you can bring those exact scenarios to the Q&A, and I will help you to the best of my ability. And it is brand free. It is not just, when I say Glazey Crazy, people automatically for some reason think Shades EQ, but it is all brands of glazes, all brands of toners. It's the fundamental things behind it, the base shades and why and when and what, when not to mix, 4 colors in a bowl and say a prayer. So I hope to see you there as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.